what has AUDREY been doing about the haze situation now and how it's likely to play out in the days?
I think let's take a step back and appreciate the situation first. Over the last few days, there have been multiple hotspots, particularly in Sumatra, South Sumatra, Riau, and Jambi. The numbers have been increasing. There are at least several hundred. However, the other thing that has changed is that the wind direction has also become very variable. And when you get a change in wind direction, that blows the smoke plumes across into Singapore. So that's basically what has happened over the last few days. And that's why you have this situation where you're getting peaks of high pollution due to haze against a background. The background level is unhealthy, but from time to time it will creep upwards into unhealthy or even very unhealthy. So this is a situation which has persisted for the last few days, and NEA expects this to actually continue for the next few days or even weeks. So we have to be psychologically prepared for that. The other point is that Singapore cannot just stop because haze has arrived. As the haze levels increase, we have to increase our level of precautions. As the haze levels decrease, we can afford to relax. So we have to take a kind of an expectant monitoring posture and adjust our responses accordingly. Now, we are focused basically on three key objectives. Number one, protect our population. Number two, work with the Indonesians to put out the fires to identify the culprits. Number three, to send an unequivocal signal to all the companies involved in this business that we will not hesitate to take the full action under the law that we passed last year against them. So let me deal with the first point on protecting our population. You just had a briefing. The Ministry of Health has just reactivated the haze subsidy scheme. This means Singaporeans will be able to access, I think, about 400 clinics in addition to the polyclinics if they have any haze-related medical problems, and they will enjoy subsidies provided by the government. The NTUC, Ministry of Manpower, as well as the National Employers Federation have also published their guidelines. The key point here is that we want employers to be flexible and to be considerate for the safety and the health of their employees. So whilst I said there isn't a single, simple stop work level, nevertheless, we expect the employers who know their own operations best to take appropriate precautions so that you don't endanger human life and you don't risk the health of the employees. In particular, employers need to be aware of which of their employees have heart or respiratory problems, and these employees need to have special consideration needs to be applied for these employees. So that's on the work front. On the school front, you've heard the contingency plans for the Ministry of Education, where we believe that the next day is going to be at a hazardous level, then MOE will consider and will announce whether school closures are necessary. But if the pollution level spikes during the course of the school day, it would not be the correct thing to suddenly dismiss the students into the haze. MOE will take the appropriate precautions, cancelling all physical education, looking out for those who are more vulnerable, and all schools have several rooms which are air-conditioned and with air purifiers, so we can protect the most vulnerable school students, regardless of how bad the haze becomes. You've also heard the briefing by the People's Association. Starting tomorrow, I think, in fact, the Prime Minister himself will lead the effort, a ground-up effort to distribute WeCare packages to the needy and to the vulnerable members of our society. This will be a grassroots, ground-up effort. So I think the point I want to make is that over the next few days, we have to be prepared. We have to be psychologically prepared that things can fluctuate. We have to take sensible, rational precautions. The plans are in place, the stockpiles are in place. If everybody cooperates and works on a whole of Singapore basis, we'll get through this. I would say I don't expect this episode to be as bad as what we went through in 2013. So in a sense, we're all psychologically prepared. Singapore should get through this relatively well, just as we did in 2013.